In the meantime, what I was going to talk about was this kind of a little bit of a conversation that I had with somebody on Reddit today about car language. So, if you don't know what car language is, it's basically something that I don't know if Gibbs was the first one to coin this, but definitely he uses that phrase quite a bit in his tutorial type videos. Not really tutorial videos, but his videos where he teaches people, how to kind of go up through the ranks and what works and what doesn't work. He has a couple of video series, one called Playing with Potatoes and one called Spud to Stud. I'm not sure if he's has a new series. He might. He probably does. I haven't watched recently. He also has him playing like twos and sometimes ones or threes at high levels. He used to be a pro, not anymore, but he's still a very good player. And what he talked about was car language. Watch what the cards are doing. If all the cars are like going back this way, back to this goal, back to the goal, where you're going, if everybody's kind of moving back, then it's safer to come up, right? So that you have to be able to read the where the cars are going, where they're positioned, their sort of momentum, their speed, and where the ball is, and the momentum and speed of the ball, all that stuff. But what he means really about car language is how you present yourself to your teammates. So you can use car language to kind of understand what all of the players are doing on the field. But what he meant, and this is what I mean as well when I talk about like making sure to sort of trust your teammates and making sure to sort of be confident, is when you do those things, one of the ways to be confident is to be is it's kind of like you're sitting up. If you're just kind of slouched over, maybe you don't look as confident, have a better posture. It's the same thing with your car. If you're hesitating with your car like this, you're going back and forth, that doesn't look good. It shows that you're not confident and you're hesitant, right? And then to your teammates, it's the same thing. You're going like this, waiting. I mean, that doesn't look good. You don't really want to do that. You want to be confident. You want to move up and you want to hit that ball. And you want to hit it solid. Doesn't mean that you rush at it at like 100 miles per hour, but that you hit it confidently and you do it quickly. And so part of that is understanding how the ball bounces, especially off the walls, because I know a lot of people have to wait for that. But even aerials, even balls in the air, kind of understanding how far that ball is going to come off the ground. So you have to show that car language. And so that's a part of it, right? Is just how people see you going on the field. Are you just going around in circles? Do you look like you're aimless? Right? I mean, you don't want to be sitting still, right? But at the same time, you want to look like you know what you're doing. So that's one thing you can do with your car language. The second thing you can do with your car language is to show where you're going, not just sort of what you maybe are intending to do, but where you're going. So let's say you have a teammate and your teammate's over here and your teammate is about to get the ball, right, to go up the field. Well, if you're trailing behind them, they can't see you. And what that tells them is that you're not in the play. Or they look back and they see you right behind them, and what does that say? You don't trust them. Your car language being right behind them is that you don't trust them. And remember the rule, trust your teammates, right? And so how do you build that trust in your teammates? How do you build their trust in you? And that's to use good car language, right? So you want to look like you are ready to support them and that you are letting them do their thing, right? So they're coming up here, instead of being right behind them, you're here, you're ready for the pass. You're showing that you're ready to get it, right? So they're coming up here, they're about to hit the ball, you're not right behind them. If, let's say, for example, they're about to hit the ball, there's a defender over here coming to get it, where's the ball probably going to go? Probably going to go out there, right? Out on this side, if there's a challenge in a 50-50. So in that case, you don't want to be right behind your teammate. You want to be off to the side. You want to be behind them, but you want to be to the side. Now what you can do is, if you're feeling really confident with your teammate, particularly if you have a man in back, is you can move up a little bit. You don't want to get too far ahead of them. In threes, you can get ahead of your teammate with the ball to get like a redirect, but that's only once you have really good rapport with your teammate and both of you know what you're doing. Otherwise, you probably want to not go really ahead of them. You just want to go enough to get in their field of view. So for example, if I'm here, right, and this person is here about to hit this ball, then as they're coming up, they'll probably be able to see me out of their side view. Maybe. You know, you probably have to creep up a little bit to do that. But the point is that you're putting yourself in a position to help them out, to get a pass if they want to pass it to you. If they're in a 50-50 and the player is coming, the opponent's defender is coming in from that side, it's going to come here, right? And so you have to look at those angles and be ready for it, right? Maybe you have to go up here, maybe you have to go up on the wall to get the ball. But the point is you're not right behind them, and that's bad car language because then it makes it look like you don't trust them. So the other thing that people do often that's a mistake, so I'll show you what the mistake is let's say the ball is like over here, because usually this is where it happens. Let's say the ball's over here, right? And everybody's retreating. The defense is either retreating or they're coming up, right? But they're not in the general vicinity. They're not all like right on top of you. If they're right on top of you, then you just want to power clear this bad boy down. But if they're back there, you power clear it and you're basically turning it over to them, right? So a lot of times what happens is your teammate is going to take this ball, and if they don't power clear it, they're going to try to dribble it. Now sometimes that's painful, right? Some people just don't know how to dribble, and you're just like, oh my god, what are they doing, right? But what you don't want to do is just assume that they're going to completely flub it, right? They're trying to dribble. What you don't want to do is go like this in their field of view, pointing towards the ball like this. What is the point of that, right? They have the ball, they have the possession. The other team's all the way over there. Basically what you're doing is you're telling them, if you even come close to losing that ball, I'm going to take it away from you. That's not good car language, because what that's doing is it's telling them you don't trust them. And even though you don't trust them, you have to show that you trust them so that they have confidence. And so instead of being pointed at the ball that they're already trying to control, point it up the field. Point it to where you want them to pass it to you. So if they have the ball over there and they're pushing the ball, don't go here like this, like you want to try to pinch it off them into the goal. I mean, most of the time that does not work, and then you're just screwed. So instead, be ready for the pass and make it so that they know that you're in position and that you trust them. So again, that's car language. So it's really important to have good car language. And it's the same thing with, let's say somebody is rotating back and they're coming back here, right? They're rotating back, they're out of boost. They're going here to pick up this mid boost. You know, like a lot of people, they're likely to just turn right around and go right back in, right? And you're back here and you're thinking, what do I do? Do I just let them do that, right? I want to be part of the play too. Well, if the ball's all the way in the corner and you feel it's safe, come up in their field of view and pass them up to replace them. And then they will know, because they're going back. Now it's very possible that they have ball cam on and they can't even see you, but most likely if they're going back to get this boost, they're going to have to put the car cam on to be able to see the boost, and then they will see you. Now, hopefully they're looking around, but even if they don't, they'll most likely at one point, hopefully, to get that midfield boost, they'll put the car cam on and then they'll see you replacing them, right? So again, that's car language. Car language is not just let my teammate do their thing, but it's also, hey, this is my space now. You're rotating back, I'm rotating up. So again, it's also valuable to do that. And you can't do it from like super far away, because you could be back here, that's way too far if the ball's all the way up there. So if your teammate is coming back and about to get that midfield boost and you're all the way back here, don't blame them if they just turn back in, because you're taking way too long to replace them. And so they'll just turn back in, right? And then you're thinking, geez, like nobody wants to rotate with me and I'm stuck on defense. No, it's because you're in an inefficient position. So again, you have to have good positioning, you have to have good car language. So remember that. That's one of those things that will help you to be confident, to show that you're confident, as a way to kind of breed confidence in your teammate, to show them that you trust them. It's a way to help show that you do trust them. So that helps with those two rules. So the first one is be positive, but the second one is be confident, and the third one, and don't, part of that is don't hesitate, and the third one is trust your teammates. Okay, so trust your teammates, let them do their thing, but make sure that your car language shows that you are ready to help make the play. And when I mean help make the play, I don't mean be right behind them, right up their tailpipe. That does not help. So hopefully that helps. It's probably something you already know in some respect. Maybe you know that completely and you do this all the time, or it might be something that is something you hadn't thought about, but now that you are thinking about it, is something that you'll put into play more often as you play. And I think what will happen is it will help you communicate, again, just like body language, this is car language, it'll help you communicate without having to use quick chat as much, because quick chat, a lot of times people won't even look at quick chat because things are just too crazy. So this is a way to communicate non-verbally, just like body language, but it's car language with your teammates. So car language, hope that helps. This is something I may also post on YouTube. We'll see. I tend to run long with my descriptions and all that stuff, but I might post this. So thanks for a lot, and I will continue streaming after this. But thanks, and I'll see you later.